was the first small group you ever went to? I'm trying to remember which one it was. Actually, I know what it was. A couple of years ago, my friend and I do CrossFit. And so she decided she was going to do a CrossFit small group. Well, I was already at the gym, so she just started bringing all these people on Saturday mornings to the gym. And it was just eye-opening for me, and it was in a different setting. So I was thinking, when I first heard of small groups, I thought it was like a Bible study. But when she was like, hey, let's do a CrossFit, and I'm like, okay, now this is a small group I can go to.
Were you ever reluctant to open up to other people? If so, how did that change?
So, this is not a weakness for me. I'm pretty open and candid with everyone, probably too transparent. The unique thing about TC and our small groups, everyone is pretty down to earth. I don't feel like people come off as like holy rollers or just judging you for where you are in life. We do a pretty good job of meeting you where you are, and we're just gonna hang out, and through that, you'll see Christ through us. That's what I've learned, at least from my experience.
What would you tell someone who has never been a part of a small group? Really just do it. You gotta be interested in something. Then there's, I mean, we have tons of people who do tons of things, just doing life. Whether, I know I've even seen where I can't swim, but they have the scuba diving group. Things just like that, something you would typically expect to do at church. Just jump out and do it. You can find something you're interested in, or something that you may not have even tried before. I would just get out there.
It's really cool that we have so many, because I don't know, maybe you try one and you're like, I don't know if this is the right fit for me. Well, that's fine, because there's like 20 others that you can try.
Oh, yeah.
You can go back and give yourself a pep talk.
I could give myself a pep talk, because I was really afraid about fitting in, and about, I don't know, just not feeling like I mentioned before, like an outsider, you know? So I think I would just tell myself, don't be afraid, just go. They're gonna include you in the conversation. You're gonna make friends that you never thought that you would make before. So I would just tell myself, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I would say that you have no idea how much you're gonna gain from other people. Because you go into it just like, for example, basketball. I was like, just going to go hoop. But through that, Pastor Brad and I became really close. A whole network of people that I had never met before, I now know them. And they've been like, hey, Tim, I'm going through such and such, such and such. And they kind of spill into you, you spill into them, and you just have no idea how that first interaction could lead to 2-3 years later.
Why are relationships important to you? That's a great question. For me personally, relationships, that's what better opportunity do we have as humans to get to know one another? You know what I mean? There's just something about, that scripture, when two or more are gathered, just that that synergy that happens when two or more people are gathered, just like right now, what we're doing. You know what I mean? There's an energy here. Mm-hmm. There's a peace here. Mm-hmm. There's something that's just really cool and you just not you never know what the other person who's sitting across from you is going through. That's right. And they don't know what you're going through either. You know what I mean? And so being able to have that opportunity to find out, explore what each other is going through, and then where you kind of get to help them. To me, that's one of the most fulfilling feelings in the world is knowing that you're able to help somebody through something, or just make them smile.
With me, with the group that I go to, we count on each other. We have gentlemen there who have lost wives, who have lost children, who have the whole gamut. You'd be surprised what you sit next to in church, and they're not going to talk about that in church. No. And I say that in relationships because when we get into our small groups, they're smaller. It's just like us, mano to mano, and the walls come down, to steal a phrase that we were speaking earlier. And you get a closer relationship. When I go to my small group every Tuesday now, I drive 3 or 4 guys, where I just drove myself before, So my small group starts as soon as I pull in the first, hey brother, come on, you ready? Yeah, I'll be right out, and so on and so forth. So it's really, for me, I have to have it.